It's Yaddle Chattle! And it's a Star Wars podcast, baby. And yeah, we are back. We are back. We are rocking and rolling with Yaddle Chattle today. We are going to be talking to you about Star Wars. And we needed to do this emergency, impromptu Yaddle Chattle because of all of the Star Wars news that is developing. As you know, Yaddle Chattle has evolved into a post-show show. Really, Yaddle Chattle is when there's a new Star Wars live-action series, animated series, or movie out. We're going to talk about it. We're going to review it. We're going to discuss it. And we're going to be here for you. And then when the shows go away, Yaddle Chattle goes away. If you like some of the stuff that I do, Davey Mac Sports Program, Tales from the Satellite, Eastside Dave and Son Wrestling Show, and the brand new hit podcast that truly is taking the world by storm, Modern Day Man, with Aaron Berg and Eastside Dave McDonald. You want to check out all that stuff. But if you want to hear the Star Wars, it's Yaddle Chattle. And while it is a post-show show, I'm sorry, I had to break in here today because we have things to discuss. Yes, the Mando and the Grogu movie has a new trailer. By now you've seen it, and you've seen everyone's reaction. You've seen everyone's little YouTube reaction where they're watching and they go, oh, I can't believe it. That's my impersonation of every YouTube reaction trailer. Is the they're always shocked at stuff on YouTube. They're always like, "What? What?" And you're like, "Yeah, that's a character. That's a Star Wars character that they're bringing back for the movie. Oh yeah, that's a planet that they're going to. Shouldn't be that shocking." What? But I don't like to ruin people's enthusiasm. I watched the trailer. I thought it looked pretty good. I can't say that the Mando and Grogu trailer looked very different than the TV series. But having said that, I think the Mando and Grogu has looked tremendous on television. In fact, every season, and I know some people didn't like season 3. I get that. I'm just talking about the visuals. Every season, to me, has improved. Season 3 was amazing looking. Yes, we had to deal with Jack Black and Lizzo, but just visually, it was fantastic. So I have all the faith in the world that Jon Favreau could do the Iron Mans, and he could do the Marvels, and he's done the Star Wars, and he's had the success. I got no doubt he's going to give us some big eye-popping stuff. No doubt. No doubt whatsoever. A lot of faith in the Jon Favreau, okay? I got the faith in him. I got the faith in the Gilroy boys with the Andor. That's where the faith lies. But we have to talk to you about John Boyega, who gave us one of the most interesting quotes I've ever read from a Star Wars actor. And it's primarily the reason why I'm doing this episode. Okay? Because if you've watched or listened to Yaddle Chattle these last few years, you would know that I have on many occasions talked about how the sequel trilogy could have been a huge success where everyone would have been a winner. I've been here on Yaddle Chattle giving you how the Star Wars story should have went in the sequel trilogy. I'll do it to you right now. And this isn't just me saying this. I've been on the record saying this multiple times throughout the years, but I have to do it now before I go into the John Boyega quote. And here was my deal. I actually thought, hot take, Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi would have been a completely successful movie, that you wouldn't have had to change anything. all you had to do was when Luke Skywalker falls down on those rocks, he doesn't die. He doesn't fade away. Instead, that's your cliffhanger. In other words, you could have kept Last Jedi, angry, sullen, bitter Luke. I actually think that would have worked, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But we could have kept the movie as is, exactly the same. For all you Last Jedi fans out there, we wouldn't have touched it. But when Luke falls to the rocks, he's like, and we think he's going to die. We think he's going to die. But then, all of a sudden, there's a shot, eyes, camera zooms out, it's John Boyega. It's Finn. And someone says, what's the matter, Finn? Because they could tell. He's all of a sudden having, maybe it's Poe. What's the matter, Finn? He goes, Master Skywalker's in trouble. Boom. That's the cliffhanger. It's that at the end of episode 8, Finn, finally, the Jedi Force officially, fully awakens in Finn. He realizes Luke Skywalker's in trouble, and that's the ending of the movie. The beginning of episode 9 is Luke, Chewie, R2, and 3PO racing aboard the Millennium Falcon as Finn and those guys are doing that, and he's going to save Luke Skywalker's life, and he heals him with the Force. You know, Finn heals him with the Force, and maybe Finn heals Luke Skywalker so much with the Force that he gets drained of Force, but because Luke is now saved, he then heals Finn. They both heal each other, and it's like, boom, and now we're off and running. So you have Rey and Kylo Ren and the Emperor still doing all their stuff over here, but then over here, you have Finn and Luke kicking ass and taking names. Furthermore, a lot of the Star Wars movies end up with the rebellion having to beat the Empire on their turf, right? Death Star 1, Death Star 2, the big, huge, planet in The Force Awakens, the big fleet at the end. Why don't we change it up? And on episode 9, it's Luke and Finn and Chewie going on the Falcon. Maybe Luke's in his X-Wing. He's got the X-Wing back. Finn and Chewie are flying the Falcon. And they go back to that Rebel base on episode 9. And that's where the big, huge battle takes place. So one side of the movie is the big, huge battle on the Rebel base that Luke and Finn are kicking ass, killing 10,000 stormtroopers at a time. And then on the other side, it's still Rey and Kylo and Palpatine. You could have kept that story totally intact while also doing something, inspiring. Like having Luke Skywalker kick ass and take names along with Finn. Then both characters get over. See, the way to get a new generation of characters over is not just to callously kill the older generation who people have loved for 40 to 50 fucking years. You don't just discard them like used toilet paper. You treat them with reverence and respect. Jesus Christ, this is simple. But Disney, who likes to pride themselves on we're the most open-minded people of all time, there's one thing that they cannot say. They're an ageist. They hate anyone who came before them. They hate people who are 60 years or older. They hate them. They want them dead. They show you time and time again. They constantly kill off older characters. Constantly. Adults, older characters, die. Disney is obsessed with killing off older people. They're ageist. So the most open-minded company of all time? No, I don't think so. Actually. No, I don't think so. So they had it. And the reason why I think Rian Johnson's movie would have been successful, this is my point, is that we wouldn't have wanted to see Luke as the happy Obi-Wan Kenobi type character 2 movies in a row. So if you have angry kind of like, I don't know what to do, I'm at a loss, I'm just going to hide on this island and die, Luke, in episode 8, that's okay. Because in episode 9, after Finn saves Luke at the beginning of the movie on Act 2, they get in the Falcon, they race back to the rebel base. Well, what happens there? Out of necessity, Luke has to start teaching Finn the ways of the Force in the Millennium Falcon. Holy shit, beautiful. Echoing of Obi-Wan teaching Luke the Force in the Falcon in episode 4. And honestly, we're not even trying to go for that. Like, this is out of necessity. Luke has to give Finn a crash course on the Force, and he has to do it in the Falcon. So it would have been poetic and beautiful. And so upset Luke would have been fine in episode 8, because then it makes happy Luke not be repetitive and boring. If we saw happy Luke be nice to Rey, and he's going to be the Obi-Wan Kenobi Luke in episode 8, then in episode 9, it would have gotten dull. But he could have stayed, again, he could have stayed exactly how he was. You could have kept the movie exactly as is if you just didn't kill Luke Skywalker, which set off a chain reaction of shit. And by the way, Disney, you'd still be making out like bandits. You know why? Because I still wouldn't kill Luke Skywalker at the end of episode 9. And then what do you have? You have a Finn Solo movie. Finn got kidnapped as a kid, right? Now we've made him a Jedi in episode 9. So how about the Finn Solo, a standalone? Let me say standalone because Solo, not Han Solo. So a Finn standalone movie, okay? His whole thing is he has to rescue, Force users from some persecuting dark user army or clan or group or whatever. All right, there's some kind of mysterious little group that's kidnapping or torturing or wanting to kill Force users. And I would say specifically young teenage Force users, right? Perfect. And that's the Finn movie. He goes and he protects, the teenagers or this or that because he doesn't want them to be taken. So you got the Finn movie. Boom. Number 2, you got the Poe movie, which will be the X-Wing movie. They keep talking about this Patty Jenkins and X-Wing this and that. Why are we wanting to invent even new characters? Give it to Poe. I want an X-Wing movie where the X-Wings are going to go underwater. I want X-Wings going through time and space. I want all kinds of X-Wing shit that we've never seen before. Then you could have another movie, and all the while, where is Luke Skywalker? He's in the new Jedi Temple, which is Jedi Temple / Hogwarts. And Luke is Dumbledore, but he's also / Nick Fury. He's the guy who sends Poe out on these missions, probably to clean up some First Resistance / Imperial gang, warlords. And he's the guy who sends out Finn. He says, oh, there's bad side users on this planet, on that planet. This person's in trouble. Go and find them. He's the Nick Fury. He's the Dumbledore. He's the glue. And then you have another standalone movie. And then when you want to have your big Avengers movie and get all of them back together, that's when you maybe kill off Luke Skywalker. We're talking not at The Last Jedi and not at The Rise of Skywalker. He survives Last Jedi, survives Rise of Skywalker. He's alive in the Finn movie, standalone. He's alive on the Poe standalone, another standalone. And then in this movie, he gets killed, and that's why our guys come back together, including Rey. She's the big, huge white whale. Oh, we all have to get back together. A serious, sinister Sith entity has killed Master Skywalker. That's when you do it. 6 movies later. I had it all laid out for you, Star Wars. I literally had it all laid out for you. And trust me when I tell you, I've been saying this for 3 years now. Since the beginning of Yaddle Chattle, I have talked to you about this idea. It would have been perfect. You would have been set up forever. But you can't not kill off legacy characters. And honestly, at this point, it's clear. Disney hates anything that happened before they bought the franchise. They hate it. They actually have resentment towards Star Wars from 1977 to 2012. That's the Star Wars that they hate. That 35 years they despise. That's a problem because Star Wars is bigger than you. You've had people getting married in Star Wars ceremonies, for Christ's sakes, in weddings. Like, Star Wars means something very serious to people, and you just can't tell people, well, It's not for you anymore. Star Wars isn't for you anymore. Go fuck yourself. It's not for me. What are you talking about? Anyone who says Star Wars isn't for you, and if they're meaning 40-something-year-old people, just tell that person, who do you think has kids? Who do you think has children? 40-somethings, you stupid moron. Not for me. It's not for you if you think like that. Star Wars is always for me. I've supported it my whole life. See, I just don't want to see Star Wars turn into BS. I'm excited for the Mandu and Grogu movie, but I have to tell you, that is something that still bothers me. Well, guess who confirmed pretty much all of my shit? John Boyega was asked what he would do if he could remake the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Quote, this is John Boyega speaking. Quote, it would be mad. First of all, we're not getting rid of Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, all those people. We're not doing that. The first thing we're going to do is fulfill their story, fulfill their legacy. You know why? John Boyega is a fan, folks. And so as a fan, he understood how important all this shit was. We're going to make a good moment, back to Boyega quote, we're going to make a good moment of handing on the baton. Luke Skywalker wouldn't be disappearing on a rock. Hell no. Direct quote from Boyega. Standing there, and he's like a projector? I would want to give those characters way more, way more. Our new characters will not be overpowered in these movies. They won't just grab stuff and know what to do with it. No, you've got to struggle like every other character in the franchise. I'd look to the old Republic stories and see what we can add to the continuation of that. I would definitely want to see Force Unleashed stories in there. But again, let's go back to, we're not going to be getting rid of Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, all these people. We're not doing that. Luke Skywalker wouldn't be disappearing on a rock. Hell no. Standing there, and he's like a projector. See, I had no problems with the Luke Skywalker Force projection thing as long as he doesn't die. This is my point. That can't be his final act. Just doing some Luke Skywalker hologram? In other words, he doesn't actually put his boots on the ground there? It's cowardly. Not cool. It's cool if he survives. Then it's cool. This is like, and when we tried telling these people when The Last Jedi came out, you just heard, fanboy tears. And you're like, no, you don't get it, do you? It's not fanboy tears. You're taking a major tenement from the Star Wars franchise. You're taking it away for no good reason. That's the key. The reason ain't good, Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy. And Kathleen Kennedy needed to say something, and she didn't. That's why it's a choke job on her part. It always will be. It always will be, because she knew the script. She saw it like everyone else. She's running Lucasfilm. You gotta say, Luke Skywalker can't die in the second act of a 3-act play. What are you, nuts? That's the other thing. This whole thing, whether people who say fanboy tears or not want to admit it, it's about the Skywalkers, which is why Rey changed her name to Skywalker at the end of episode 9. It's about them, so we don't kill off fucking Luke in the second act of a 3-act play. Everything that John Boyega said here is correct. Everything. God bless him. He's 100% right. But when we said it 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, it was, fanboy tears. It's not for you anymore. The Star Wars, it needs to get past a certain age of people. What the fuck are you talking about? If you have a fan base that is loyal and that has been loyal for decades, you don't, A, take them for granted, and B, actually show resentment towards them. The way some of these actors or critics online defending this slop have said. We've gotten it from critics. Well, it has to move past middle-aged men. Middle-aged men, the ones who have 12-year-old children, 14-year-old kids, 15, 16-year-old kids, those middle-aged men who are so obsessed with Star Wars their entire lives that they are going to absolutely indoctrinate their children, pretty much at the age of 2, like I did, into Star Wars. We're your best allies, you fucking morons. We're the best thing that happens to Star Wars because we're so obsessed with Star Wars. We try to get everyone and anyone into Star Wars. Friends, colleagues, our own children, everyone. We're your apostles. We're your greatest apostles of Star Wars. Why would you take that for granted and or show open resentment? Well, it's not for you anymore. Star Wars isn't for you anymore. No, actually, it is. Star Wars isn't for you anymore. Star Wars isn't for small minded, narrow headed dweebs who just are like, well, those were the movies of yesteryear. You know, it's time to move on to a new thing. That's not what Star Wars is. And you know it. You fucking know it. As I pointed out, if people are getting married in Star Wars ceremonies, don't you think maybe Star Wars has transcended beyond just being an ordinary film franchise? Maybe it's actually way more special than that, and that's a good thing. Like people like me see Star Wars as special, practically like a religion. And you want to take that fucking fandom, that feverish, insane, limitless, enthusiastic fandom, you want to take that for granted? You fucked up, Disney. Are you ever going to admit it? That's what I want. I'm sick and tired of seeing Star Wars actors call it, say it accurately. John Boyega was 100% accurate with this thing. Everything John Boyega said was right. Everything. That's what Yaddle has been saying for the last 3 years. Everything he said. When is Star Wars, when are they going to lose the arrogance? When are they going to get a little humility and say, we made a couple missteps along the way. We acknowledge that, but we promise our fans we have tremendous ideas, incredible stories on the way. So stick with us. We acknowledge our missteps. Stick with us. The future of Star Wars is extremely bright. That's all you have to fucking say. That's all you had to do, Kathleen Kennedy. But they couldn't do that. Instead, anytime someone voiced their concern over Star Wars in very measured ways, it was just instant, oh, well, Star Wars isn't for you anymore. Or you're an ist or a phobe. Fucking bullshit. Ahsoka 2 is wrapped. And here's what I'm going to say. I really enjoyed the last 5 episodes of Ahsoka. The last 5 episodes. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 are a little dull, but episodes 4 through 8 are great. So I have some optimism with Ahsoka. I do. The other one is that Star Wars Starfighter, by the way, folks. The Ryan Gosling project. I'm into it. I think, all right, I don't know anything about it. But why not? Why not? But the first thing that's coming out, Mando and Grogu. I mean, I know we are getting a Star Wars Visions at some point, a 3rd season of Visions, the anime thing with the Star Wars. That's cool. But really, it's all about Mando and Grogu. What did you think of the trailer? I thought it was, like I said, okay. But then again, I don't put, everything into trailers because we can't have it both ways. We can't say, hey, trailers give too much away, which is what we say. And then we can't say, oh, okay, we don't want too much given away in the trailer. They put out a trailer like this. You're not getting a lot. But I'd rather have a trailer like this than a trailer where I'm seeing everything, honestly. So I'm good with it. I'm excited. I'm really excited for Mando and Grogu. And what I've decided to do is I'm going back and watching Mando right now as we speak. I'm on episode 5, season 1. And Jesus Christ, I forgot how damn enjoyable some of those early Mando seasons was, including like episodes that didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But like the Jawa episode, which is I think episode just 2 of Mando, season 1, episode 2, I believe, with the whole sand crawler and everything like that, and Mando had to get the egg and all this stuff, and Grogu helps him not get killed by that giant rhinoceros animal. It's phenomenal. I'm like, this shit is so enjoyable. I think sometimes these creators, they god damn it, they psych themselves out. Give people good stories, but just lots of Star Wars. Ships, aliens, goo. I mean, as crazy as that sounds. When they got the egg and their fucking Jawas are eating the egg, I'm like, this is Star Wars. You know, Mando with the rifle, blasting Jawas, they're fucking evaporating, for Christ's sakes. It was so much fun. We got to get back into that. And that's going to do it. All right. It was a special, quick little emergency Yaddle Chattle because I really wanted to discuss that John Boyega quote. It hit me. It was sent to me by Jedi Jared. And he said, Darth David, you need to look at this quote. This is exactly what you've been saying the last several years. And it's what I've been saying. I'm sure no one at Disney is going to get on Twitter and go, oh, John Boyega, fanboy tears. I'm sure no one will do that. But they did it with all of us when we said it a few years ago. And it was so obvious, all of the mistakes that Star Wars was making. It was so glaringly obvious. That's the thing. I've been saying it for years. I'm a wrestling fan, man. Star Wars needs a booker. The way wrestling has a booker where you look at all the characters you have and you say, okay, we need these bad guys to be strong. So we got to have them doing something and winning a lot. And we need these good guys to be strong. So on the other side of the show, we need them to be doing something. And then, you know, you work it like a booking situation. If you were booking Star Wars like wrestling, you would have never had Luke Skywalker die in the second act of a 3-act play. You just wouldn't. Because Luke Skywalker, Jesus Christ, if he's not your Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's your Ric Flair, he's your Randy Macho Man Savage, he's something. And it would be akin to saying, hey, we don't want Savage to lose at WrestleMania. Let's have him lose on some random Monday Night Raw episode. And then when people get upset, like what happened, you go, fanboy tears. It's booking, man. It's storytelling. Get into it. I'm excited for Mando and Grogu, though. That is something that I'm excited for. Starfighter, we'll see. I like Ryan Gosling because of the Blade Runner movie. Thought that was excellent. And that'll do it. Brand new computer. Brand new everything. So I hope this damn episode worked. I'm going to go check it now just to see if it worked. Anyway, folks, look, you guys are the best. All right? I don't know what else to tell you. You're the best. There is nobody better than Yaddle heads. The absolute greatest people on the face of the planet. And dare I say, some of the greatest Star Wars fans of all time. By the way, shout out to Rebel Force Radio. Like I always say, if you want to hear a great weekly Star Wars podcast rather than a post-show show, which Yaddle Chattle is, Rebel Force Radio. I'm sure you already know it, but it's worth saying. And that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you. Stay tuned for Yaddle Chattle. Make sure you're subscribed to YouTube.com/EastsideDaveTV. Shit's happening all the time over there. Content upon content. So whether it's Yaddle Chattle or something else, lots of great content. Follow that. Follow all the shows. And that'll do it, folks. Thank you so much. My name is Darth David, Eastside Dave McDonald. I thank you very much. Good night, everybody.